the word inclusiveness. And I think that's a critical point. People need to feel part of the country in some extent. And in South Africa, if people are economically deprived, you don't feel part of the whole. And I think in a lot of countries, you see it in Europe and you see it in America. And if you feel isolated, you have the tendency to become a bit more nationalist. You have a tendency to maybe blame immigrants and others who are not necessarily at fault for your flight. So you can't just have truth and reconciliation without having a plan to include those who have been marginalized. Those who have been marginalized may sometimes be the perpetrators. In many cases, they may even be the victims and the perpetrators. I mean, people become perpetrators and nationalistic maybe because it's easier to target those groups. So in South Africa, you have new political parties that have been established. The traditional ANC, while it's still in power, you have more parties on the right, more parties on the left. As an outsider looking at America, we also see some of those tendencies, you know. And so I think the TRC, two important points I hear what you're saying. One is you need to have those stories from the people who are affected. And secondly, we need to have a broader sense of, a broader program to include those, not just coming up with the stories, but some form of economic development so that their voices are heard, so that they feel part of the community. And I think that's an important aspect of us listening to those communities. Sometimes we talk as academics and others and having these forums, but the people who are affected don't get those platforms. And maybe the TRC provides them with those platforms, and maybe it's a starting point for us to hear those stories. But I think it has to be part of a bigger plan.